What I love to do is introduce the right people to the right people.
I assemble the smartest people I can think of or reach out to carry that conversation, and that's exactly what I've done today.
Please give my panel a round of applause. Welcome. Okay guys, Jay Martin here, CEO of Cambridge House, and I am joined once again by two individuals who I've had on the show before to talk all things crypto. And right now I have Mitchell Demeter, the president of Netcoins, and Mark Binns, the CEO of BIGG Digital Assets, the parent company to Netcoins. So thank you both for coming back. I'm looking forward to chatting today.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. So we're going to talk about Netcoins, the only crypto exchange in Canada owned by a publicly listed company. There's a number of reasons why I like that. And we're going to talk about the parent company, BIGG Digital Assets as well. Before we get into that, why don't we just, it's been a couple months since I've had you guys on. Tons has changed on the crypto landscape. So why don't we start there with a sort of quick macro wrap up. And Mitch, I'll throw it to you. To begin here, just in the last few months, what are some of the biggest shifts that you've seen in the crypto space?
Yeah, I think overall we're seeing continued adoption and acceptance around the world. We've had a number of banks around the world come out and start to offer Bitcoin to their clientele directly, and We've seen Bitcoin a little bit range bound for the last few weeks, but while that's been kind of staying in its range, we've seen Ethereum almost double in the last month, from about 2,000 up to a high of about 4,200. We've also seen new trends come out, like community tokens. Gary Vaynerchuk just launched, or is in the process of launching, VFriends, which is a really cool NFT project on the Ethereum network. And so overall, the industry just continues to develop, and we're seeing more acceptance and more real world use cases.
Now, yeah, that's been the case, right? Ethereum's just blown up. Well, it doubles, pretty exciting. What do you attribute that to, Mitchell? Do you think that's on the back of the NFT hype exclusively? Are there other factors contributing, or from your perspective, what's driving that price?
Overall, I kind of think it's regular market movement. It's kind of been lagging behind Bitcoin over the last year. And so I think it was kind of just due to break out and kind of, find that new price. But yeah, there's definitely been more demand for it. And like I said, the NFT projects that have been launched brought a ton of attention. And I think there's some larger institutional guys that are starting to turn their attention to it and looking at these bigger use cases and seeing what it can be used for, and starting to allocate capital in.
Yeah, more and more it seems. Mark, anything to add on there?
Yeah, I think as Mitch talks about adoption, we're seeing even more attention paid to the crypto space by regulators, both in Canada and internationally. There's definitely a continued move by governments to make sure that retail investors, institutions, people that are playing in the crypto space, both for investment and spending, are kept safe. So you're seeing in the US, Janet Yellen is talking about how there needs to be regulation and oversight for protection of the industry. And in Canada, you've seen the CSA come out recently and say that, all crypto trading platforms, whether you're an exchange, a brokerage, or any market participant, is going to need to be regulated. We expected this to come. We welcome it. BIGG is a compliance first crypto company, so you're going to keep seeing more and more of that securing the endpoints, as I like to call it, in the crypto space by the regulators.
Has that taken longer though than you thought it would, Mark? This creeping regulation, like I think we both agree it's a good thing, right? We need it for the confidence of the masses, but has it taken longer than you thought? Is it moving faster than you thought, or what are your thoughts?
It's probably going on pace to what we would expect. It's a new industry. It's a new asset class. Overall, regulators are educating themselves. They're trying to really understand how the space is working, how the market participants are interacting with each other, how consumers are getting involved, and they're making sure they're doing the right thing for the future. So they're moving cautiously, but they are moving. And I think that's great for the long-term adoption of crypto, both as an investment and as a monetary tool for spending. So I think it makes sense. Okay,
thank you. Now, Mitchell, I'll come back to you because you're the president of Netcoins. I want to talk about the exchange. You guys have been growing like crazy. I know today, for context, is May 11th. You guys just put out some news. So let's touch on revenue growth. and then get into customer acquisition for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So the business has been doing incredible. We're definitely healthier than we've ever been. Throughout the month of April, we grew at about 31% over the month prior in revenue. We put up about 1.55 million in total revenue for April, and the start of May, we're right on track for very similar growth over the previous month. So we're really excited. The market's been very receptive, and we've definitely got a solid product market fit. One of the big things that people are loving about Netcoins is how responsive our customer support team is. And that's where we really chose to focus a lot of our energy is making sure that there's somebody there to help people as they're coming into the market. Obviously, crypto can be confusing, and we're really trying to make it a friendly and easy experience for new people coming in.
Yeah, I love that comment about customer support, hypercritical in your business. That's such okay. So impressive numbers, and we can look at like 31% rev growth month over month. That's awesome. Over 100% customer acquisition growth month over month. Again, obviously, what I want to know as an investor and what my audience wants to know is, but what's next, right? And so the exciting part about this is that when I look at Netcoins, there's a lot in the pipeline, and I don't mean just more of the same. The app hasn't launched yet, right? We're already seeing 31% rev growth month over month. The app hasn't launched yet, right? Geographic expansion hasn't really occurred yet. So I want you to touch on those two things because they're very important to the story and could provide what I think is that tipping point, right? That could really make an impact. So talk to me about
Absolutely. So there's two things. Obviously, maintaining that growth trajectory and maintaining the expansion in Canada and supporting those new users that are coming in. That's our number one priority. But we want to continue to grow, and so we've got a lot on the mobile app is launching in June, and that's on Android and iOS. So that's really exciting. It's been a few months in the works, and it's highly anticipated. So I'm excited to get that out. And overall, it's looking really good right now. We're going through some thorough testing, and I think people are going to love that. Another thing that we're excited about is obviously geographical expansion, and I touched on this earlier, actually, I guess a few months ago when we spoke. There's obviously a lot of groundwork that goes into opening up new countries as we look at the regulatory environment in those countries as well as the infrastructure that's needed. We're hoping to open up the US probably within the next 4 to 5 months. And then we're looking to open up Europe on about the same timeline. And on top of that, we've got a really big partnership with a Canadian with a large Canadian institution where we'll be able to offer credit card payments directly from your Netcoins account. So you'll be able to spend from your Bitcoin at any Visa or MasterCard retailer.
Amazing. Okay. And those trigger points are important because, it's not just convenience in the sense of your corporate partnerships with Visa, MasterCard, transaction ability. But, when we look at the user base and the potential user base, after a potential US expansion, after a European expansion, and with the just convenience of an app, right? And that just expands access to the Netcoins platform. We're looking at these key numbers like customer acquisition, which then drives revenue growth. That's why I want to get into that. So thanks for the timing. June's right around the corner for the app. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, absolutely. I know a question that you must get frequently is when are more coins going to be added to the platform? And I'll give you the chance to answer this first, Mitchell.
Yeah, absolutely. We're eager to get more coins added onto the platform, and Mark can touch on this a little bit more. It's definitely on our radar, and we know the demand is there. We get the requests from customers, and we do plan to add some more coins. But right now, our biggest priority is getting that the restricted dealer license approved with the platform in its current form with the assets that we're currently offering.
Right. So that's the step you need to take prior to, and I know that's something that you're handling, Mark. So if you could touch on for anyone who's not familiar, maybe what the restricted dealer license is, first of all, and why you're pursuing it.
Yeah. Netcoins has been working with regulators, the CSA in Canada, for the better part of 2 years. We actually started talking to them in the fall of 2018, and we said, you know what, we need to put some regulation in place for the safety and security of investors in crypto. There's been fraud in the past in the space for sure, and some big failures. And we're, as you mentioned earlier, the only trading platform in Canada owned by a public company. So we're already transparent and audited, and went to the regulator and said, we should get a license in place. So we undertook a process culminating in September of last year with an application for a restricted dealer license. And that basically means that, there is government oversight. We do proper KYC. We have anti-money laundering features in place on the product. We have proper custody. We have insurance. We have everything you want to keep a platform safe for our investors, both our retails and our institutions. And, we believe we're at the end of that process. We have regular communication with the CSA overall and the BC Securities Commission. They're doing a really good job at thoughtfully looking at these licenses. They did recently announce that every market participant in the country would need to get a license with the CSA to operate. And we expected that news, and we've been in process with them. But in order to give out the license, they're looking carefully at, what are appropriate investment limits in crypto? How do these companies need to operate, as I mentioned? And we believe there's tremendous progress being made, and Netcoins is right at the front of the queue to get one of the, if not the first, one of the first licenses for a trading platform in the country. So, we think it's going to be great for the whole industry, and certainly a big catalyst for Netcoins and revenue growth and customer usage of the platform.
Yeah, and just like a healthy maturation of the industry. No, like it's
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, every industry is going to grow up. I often say in presentations, can you imagine buying Apple stock from an unrestricted brokerage who trades it on a black market exchange? No, it's laughable, right? And that's the way crypto is going to be in Canada and the world over with time. But Canada, it's coming quick. You're going to buy your crypto from licensed brokerages and licensed exchanges like Netcoins. And that's it. There wouldn't even be a consideration soon. And the other participants, they'll disappear, drop off, or get sold to companies like Big Digital Assets that'll, fold them in with our operations.
Yeah, that consolidation is coming. And that's going to be one of the biggest transformations that I see in this sector, right? Like the next big catalyst.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Now, again, speaking from just an equity investor standpoint, you're right now listed in Canada. And I know you're pursuing a Nasdaq listing in the US. Is there anything you can share on that right now, Mark?
Yeah, so we're listed in the US on the OTCQX, which is a great place to be listed, a lot of visibility, but we always want to access more investors, right? And we want to give more investors that are interested in crypto companies and crypto stocks the ability to invest in our company, Big Digital Assets. So we've been talking with lawyers, we've been reviewing the listing requirements for the Nasdaq. And, we actually believe we check a lot of those boxes. And as we continue to grow throughout the year and execute on our plan, we're hoping to be able to move forward with an application to list on the Nasdaq in the second half of this year. There is, of course, requirements that we're going to have to make sure we meet. But on our growth plan and trajectory, we should be able to do so. So that's something that we want to see for our investors and for bring in new investors into the company in the later part of this year.
Okay. And that is the story of BIGG and Netcoins. It's this pursuit of credibility, right? In all the right directions, regulation, licensing, uplisting in the US. I don't know. It's everything that I want to see. So for anybody who hasn't taken a look yet, in Canada, Big Digital Assets, the parent company of Netcoins, trades under BIGG, and in the US, BBKCF, correct? On the OTC.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Thank you both for coming back on and updating my audience on the progress, because a lot has changed on the Netcoins front since the last time we had you guys on. You've been crazy busy, and congratulations on the success. It's been awesome because we met, 6 months ago, and the trajectory of the business has been amazing. So I'm really, really impressed and want to congratulate you both. Appreciate your time, and I'd love to do this again, maybe 6 months down the road and check in again. As always, if you enjoy this content, please hit subscribe. I'd love to have you on the team. And if you want to take the next step and go a bit deeper with my content, I publish a free weekly newsletter every Friday where I debrief my portfolio. I distill the top lessons I've uncovered from the guests I've had on this show every week. And I talk about sectors and industries that I think are poised to move, areas that I'm looking for opportunity, and places that I'm allocating capital. I love writing it. We publish every Friday. The link is right beneath this video. Love to have you join the tribe.